Contrary to what I posted before on here, I don't actually want to keep talking about how much I despise Jeremiah Fisher. But I've been skimming the whole series the last several days because I've been making edits. And I don't watch season 2 a lot. I was watching scenes I hadn't seen in a long time. And I'm so serious when I say we need to villainize that piece of shit more. They said the show didn't have a villain. I disagree. It is 1,000% Jeremiah. Adam is a villain, yes. But the stuff he did to be a villain predates the show. Mostly. But the person who causes the most bullshit on the show is Jeremiah. First 3 episodes of the entire series, I don't mind Jeremiah. I like his and Belly's friendship in those first 3 episodes. He's fucking god-awful in season 3, but everybody thinks that he, shines in season 2, and that he's just this picture of maturity. I feel like I was almost gaslit into thinking that over the last several months that season 3's been airing. Because again, I don't watch season 2 that much. I feel like I had blacked out parts of season 2. The shit I've been watching the past few days, what the fuck were y'all talking about? Jesus Christ, he is awful. Honestly, season 2 might be his nastiest work. Based purely on the fact that he tricked everyone into thinking he was so emotionally mature. The way he absolutely preyed on Belly's insecurities in season 2, literally, you cannot convince me that she ended up in a relationship with Jeremiah because she genuinely wanted a partnership with him. You cannot convince me she ended up in a relationship with Jeremiah because she was in love with him. And you can never convince me that he was ever in love with her. Oh my God. Listen, I don't ever want to take away Belly's choice. Because to a certain extent, I do believe that she did make the choice to be with Jeremiah. I think she chose to be with him with the information that she had. The problem is that the information was corrupted. He definitely had a hand in manipulating that situation. He made her think certain things. The amount of times he feels the need to remind Belly that she meant absolutely nothing to Conrad is fucking diabolical. First of all, it's not true. And part of the reason she felt that way is Conrad's fault. He was not a good communicator when they were together. However, Jeremiah going and making it 10 times worse. Why? Why? This is a prime example of his resentment of his brother. His flat-out hatred of his brother being more important to him than any sort of affection he may have for Belly. Because even if Conrad did initially have a hand in making her feel that way, why would you want to make it worse? Why do you feel the need to deliberately hurt her so she can come and cry on your shoulder? So you can make yourself look better? Because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to make himself look better in comparison. He's trying to make her want him. He wants it to be her idea for them to be together. And that's why it comes off that way in season 2. Everyone's always like, oh, she was pursuing him the whole time. And like I said earlier, to an extent, yes. But, he is, the manipulative little shit. He puts all of these ideas in her head from the beginning of the fucking season. He makes her feel guilty for not reaching out to him. But the fact is that she did reach out to him. He just never answered. He makes her feel guilty for choosing Conrad, even though he knew going into the situation that she loved Conrad, and Conrad also had feelings for her. And the only reason that they had kissed in the first place is because he put himself on a silver platter in front of her right after she had been rejected. Right when she was in this vulnerable moment, and when she had been told since childhood she was destined for one of the boys. She literally says, when she's about to kiss him for the first time, that she's like, oh, I always hoped it would be Conrad, but here I am. Like, oh, here's Jeremiah. I guess since Conrad isn't an option anymore, I guess I better go with him. And we know that he knew that too, because in season 1, episode 2, he called her my future wife. Like, it seems like it was a running fucking joke in this family that she would end up with one of those two guys. He did everything in his power for her to not end up with Conrad. And yeah, I can admit, when Belly and Conrad were together, Conrad definitely has his fucking flaws. But Jeremiah sets out to hurt the both of them. He is constantly projecting his own fucking insecurities onto other people and making it their problem. And after rewatching season 2, I'm convinced that the hesitancy that he has to get with Belly towards the end of season 2 is all a fucking act. He is so full of shit. And I don't understand how more people don't see it. The way he wasted 4 years of their fucking time, the way she was so unsure of Conrad when Conrad actually started to communicate better and tell Belly how he felt, and when he was all in on her, the hesitancy she felt was because of Jeremiah, because of all of the damage that their relationship did to her. I don't know how he ended up with Denise, but I hope she dumps him, and I hope he has a restaurant that fucking fails. I hope he steps on a Lego every fucking day. I hope that his dad never helps him ever again financially, and he ends up with no place to go. And I hope Belly and Conrad completely shut him out of their lives, and he's forever unhappy. No, not his relationship, but a relationship where his sister was treated like complete shit by a little man baby who wanted to get even with her. And I don't know what you're talking about in the rest of this, because I literally say in this post that I feel like Steven and Conrad should have addressed their relationship more. That how Steven is feeling is not related to Jeremiah and Conrad's relationship. And no, Steven didn't really call out how he felt. He was using what Conrad did as an excuse to get mad at him, even though he was mad at him for something entirely different. I am looking at the whole picture. I'm afraid you're the one who is leaving out important context. I'm using this comment to make a video reply instead of the one I actually intended to. For some reason, TikTok is not letting me do a video reply to this comment. But yeah, 100% agree with Andrea. And I don't love the wording of the original comment. Would have let her and Jer get married. I'm sorry, let them? As in, allow them? Did they not have free will? Did he hold them hostage with a weapon and force them to do what he wanted? Did he force Belly to get on a plane? I fear the way you worded this actually completely proves this point. If Jeremiah and Belly really wanted to get married, if they were really dedicated to each other and were ready for it, and they really, really loved each other, what Conrad said would not have made a single difference in the world. No, Conrad didn't have the best timing, but they would have both been making a mistake by getting married to each other. Not to mention, yeah, he was gonna let them go through with it before he found out how his piece of shit brother was treating Belly. I'm filming this on my iPad. Oh my god, it's so weird. I actually just turned 29 like 3 days ago. So, yeah, not some young little teenager who doesn't notice red flags. I know Conrad has flaws. Plenty of them. There's a huge difference between him and Jeremiah, though. Conrad always acknowledges his flaws. He takes accountability. He is willing to grow. Jeremiah has literally only gotten worse in 5 years. Before the episode the other night, I was hesitant to throw around the word narcissist. I was hesitant to throw around the word abusive because those words are very serious. But that's what Jeremiah showed us in the most recent episode. That's exactly what he is. And it's funny you say the young ones want Conrad. I have found that to be the exact opposite. I don't know where you've been looking, but trust me, the younger ones want Jeremiah. No offense, babe, but this is an absolutely wild thing to say. Of course, he's gonna be nice, cool, calm, collected when things are going well. Most everyone is. When you're mad, when you're hurt, when you're having true tests to your relationship, that's when you prove how mature you actually are. That's when you learn how to actually sustain a healthy relationship. Y'all using the times when he's hurt. Yeah, because he's always turning everything around on her. Him being hurt is no excuse for treating her the way he does. Forget the wedding for a second. Let's talk about Christmas and that leading to Cabo. Was it wrong of Belly to not tell him? Yeah, she probably should have. I think we all can admit that she should have told him. The fact that she felt the need to hide it proves that she still had feelings for Conrad. However, instead of talking to her about it, asking her why she felt the need to hide it from him, he decides instead to pick a fight with her, break up with her, go party in Cabo, sleep with someone else twice, all while knowing that he intends to get back together with her because he bought her a present. Like, at the very least, he knew that they were gonna talk. Because that breakup was so rushed, they had to sort some things out after that. He had a right to be upset that she didn't tell him. He did not have a right to do what he did. And I know people are saying, well, he was waiting for her to tell him. Okay, if she doesn't tell him in like a week, you need to talk to her about it. Like, her keeping secrets is not an excuse for you to go even lower. Jeremiah never, ever chooses to be the bigger person. He chooses to get even. He chooses revenge. He chooses to hurt the other person even more. Him acting this way in huge moments proves exactly what kind of a person he is. Because it's easy. It is so easy to be pleasant when everything is going well in your life. But in relationships, you need someone who's going to step up and be there for you in the hard moments. Something he never does for Belly, and something she always did for him. And I'm not saying it's completely his fault that she didn't tell him about Christmas, but I think he's part of the problem. Because we see how he reacts with other stuff. She was probably, nervous to tell him. Because she knows how he acts, especially when it comes to Conrad. And with this scene that I was talking about that you commented on, they were not discussing the wedding thing. That's not what was happening. First of all, he's the one who called the wedding off, which he absolutely had a right to do. She's in love with his brother. He has a right to be upset that she's in love with his brother. Though I would argue he put himself in this situation. But him getting drunk at a bar, him whining in the hotel room, that's understandable. What he says to Belly is unacceptable. He's trying to convince her that they can stay together. And she is expressing her fears to him about how lost she is, about how she doesn't even know herself when she's not tied to him. And instead of trying to understand that, he's like, I'll remind you every day. That's not what she's saying. She doesn't need reminding from you, Jeremiah. She needs to find herself. She needs to remind herself who she is, and she can only do that on her own. And so she tells him she's going to stay in Paris. And he is mad that she is not doing what he wants. The second she tells him that she is staying, his demeanor flips like a switch. It's low-key kind of scary how his attitude switches on a dime. He's mad that she's not falling for his manipulation anymore. He's mad he can't control her anymore. This whole situation was not even directly about the wedding. Like, I get they have a codependent relationship and it's hard to let go of her, but the way he lashes out immediately, instead of, let's say, crying or being sad when she tells him she's gonna stay, he immediately starts attacking her like it's her fault. So yeah, that's when this comment is like crazy to me, because the way people react when they're mad, when they're upset, when they're hurt, that tells you a lot more about them as people than when they're in a good mood. People are allowed to be upset, and there's multiple different ways of expressing that, instead of turning it around on someone else and making it their problem and making it their fault, which is what he always does when things do not go his way. He is never the one at fault in his head.